Hi, my name is Darby Louise, and welcome to episode 2 of the CoCreated podcast. Hi, like I said, my name is Darby Louise. I'm a maker in Memphis, Tennessee. I live here with my husband and my 2-year-old rescue pup named Pippin. I just dabble in all things fiber arts and sewing and I guess not all things fiber arts, but I knit, I sew, I embroider, and get into a lot of different things when it comes to crafting and making. And so this is my little corner of the internet to share that with you all. So with that, let's get into the podcast. I guess we can start with what I'm wearing. I'm not wearing a Me Made today actually, but it is a thrifted shirt that I cropped. So it's kind of a thrift flip, but I put it on today and I was like, it's like a men's, I think it's a men's small. I don't remember what brand it is, but I was like, I really like this. I might just like copy this into a pattern, which I don't think I've done with my own clothes before. So yeah, I don't think I've copied any of my clothes to make a pattern before. So that would be a really fun venture to get into. But yeah, and I do have a cup of coffee today. This is a little vintage Starbucks cup that I found near a trash chute at an apartment I used to live at. So not in the trash, in a box nearby. So anyways, it's another one of my like favorite little mementos that I have. I'm drinking a Colombian by Say Coffee. I have a little card here. One of my favorite local shops, City and State. That's who they've been carrying as their retail. I think they've had them on like their drip and espresso and stuff, but they've been selling Say Coffee for their retail bags. And this Colombian I had an Ecuador before this, and the Colombian has not disappointed. They're really great. I think they're based in New York, but I'll also link their information below if you want some Say Coffee. It's really good. I'm a huge fan. Enough about coffee. You came here for the making content. So yeah, let's get into finished objects. So it's a little, I also recorded this yesterday and then just felt very scattered. So we are re-recording today. So I'm like, which one do but I have things, so I'm talking about everything again. So this, and I'll put a better picture of this up over here, hopefully. This is the Closet Core Patterns free t-shirt pattern. I wear a lot of t-shirts and a lot of knits. I don't sew knits a lot. I don't think that my machine likes knits that much. I have a faff, and it's just really hard on knit fabric. So you can see like some of the little finishes and stuff. Like this is kind of wonky because it's I use a double needle on this. Also, yes, this does say that it was made in 2022. It was not. I just happen to have these tags left over and I'm going to use them. So yeah, I just stuck that in there. But I mean, overall, like, I think it does look really great. This is a little bunched up, but I think I can iron that out maybe, or just iron. I think if I iron this like back seam, it'll help loosen that up a little bit, maybe. But anyways, so, and then I did this little pocket and I kind of guessed at where I was going to put this and it turned out really cute. So I'm really happy with the pocket. But yeah, I've been wanting a t-shirt dress. I actually found one at the thrift store, but it's like a black knit, and it's longer. So I was like, cool, then I'll just make a short one now, so I don't have to make 2. So yeah, I made this with the Closet Core Patterns. It's a free t-shirt pattern. It's great. I know a lot of people are coming out with t-shirt patterns, and I'm curious. Part of me like kind of wants to just see what's different about all of them, but I like this one. I really like. It goes up to a size, I think it goes from size 0 to size 32, which is a 60.7-inch bust. I made, well, I think I cut a 14 was what size I was supposed to be. And then I took that other dress because I like the fit of that, and I just traced it, or I just matched it up to see like what size that would fall into. And then I took it in at the waist some, and then I cut it according to like the length I wanted. And I just kept it straight all the way down. Like I tapered it in and then back out and then straight. So that's like the only adjustments I made to this. And my work computer's making noises. This is a organic knit cotton. It's from Minerva. I got it a while ago, and I actually made a different dress out of this fabric. And I don't remember exactly. I made the pattern, I made this whole dress, did all the finishings and stuff, and I just hated it, and it was very big and too oversized for my taste. I like things to be kind of oversized, but I don't. This was like I put it on and I was like, this does look like a bed sheet, because there was nothing to it. The pattern looked great on, like the samples looked really great, and that's what got me. But I think also in this fabric it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. But the pieces were big enough, and it was kind of like just very boxy, that I was able to cut these pieces out of that old dress, because there's not supposed to be a seam on the back, but there was a seam on the back of the other dress, so I just used the back piece as the back piece. So yeah, it's kind of a reworked project as well, but I'm way happier with how this is finished and stuff. And it was just really nice to sew. I haven't sewn garments like at all this year until this, and so I was really happy to finish that. I also have another finished sewing FO, but it's a test knit. It's a pattern. It's for a pattern test. But it is the Spence Blouse by Stitch Witch Patterns. Yes. So I can't show it to you just yet. If I don't get this video up in time, if I don't get this video up before the pattern releases, I will throw a photo up in here because I have some pictures of it and stuff. Because it was supposed to be released. She's delayed the release date a little bit, and that's okay. So I will, I just wasn't going to talk about it as much, but you will see that on my Instagram at least. So I will be sharing that. I think the release date is April, I can look it up. I think it's April 11th. Yes, April 11th is the release date for it. So be on the lookout and follow her. And I'll link her stuff below as well, so you can anticipate a new pattern release. So I have one more finished object, and this was, you saw this last time, was a whip. These are my laid edges socks. This is by Kelly McPherson. I think she has another, her Instagram is something different, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And which one is this is the better one. It's a beautiful pattern. I think these this is actually cabling. So it's like a wrap. You wrap the stitch and then slip it, and then you cable it. If that makes sense. I'll link the pattern below. I think there were a couple things, because she had a glossary of terms, but then when you're doing the heel, not the flap, but actually the heel part, she doesn't have a definition for like purl long, so I had to look that up because it wasn't in her glossary of terms. And then the way she suggested do the toe was really weird, and I didn't understand. I read it and I was like, I don't think this is going to give you, I wanted a toe like this, but I think the way she wrote it, it was going to have the highest part on the edge. So you could basically have like a left and right sock. I think that's what it was supposed to be, but I didn't like that. So I just found somebody else's project on Ravelry and did what they suggested. And then I did like the Kitchener stitch for the toe, and it turned out like, look how beautiful it is. It is so nice. It just like fades into one another. So this one turned out great. This one turned out not so great because I forgot how I did the toe on the last one. So this one looks like this. So just so you can see the difference, this one's just a little more narrow. It looks really weird. I'll take a picture of it and show you a picture of them on what they look like. And also I did, the heels look different. So I did the heel flap, it calls for so many rows, and I redid this because I've lost count. I was like, that looks really long. So I ripped it back, redid it with the right stitch count, but it still came out longer than this one, and I knit this one first. So I don't know, there's just some weird things. I also feel like when I picked up on this sock, it just didn't look as clean as this one. I don't know, it's just, I'm not super thrilled with these, and they're really big, and I think they're gonna just like kind of grow and continue to get bigger. So my thought is to frog them, and then, but I don't want to do this cabling again because it's kind of tedious. Like, it's pretty, but it's really tedious, and it's not as easy because I work on DPNs. I worked these on DPNs anyways, and so it's not as easy to take with you because I have the 4 DPNs, and then I had to have like a yarn needle for like doing the cables and stuff, and so it's just kind of like a little tedious like process to take with you places. I feel fine doing it at home, but I just didn't want to do it out in the wild. So these might be a whip next episode. We'll see. Because I love this yarn. Oh, also this is Knit Picks Capra in the color Turmeric. It's a DK weight yarn. So they're DK socks, so they would be a little bigger and like squishier anyways. But oh, I think this color is discontinued because I couldn't find it on their website, which is a real bummer because it's, look how, like, it's a beautiful, it's coming up a little not as like bright as it actually is, but it looks really pretty on camera though. Like those cablings and stuff are really nice, but it's more yellow in person. So anyways, it's a great yarn. I really enjoyed working with it, and so that's kind of why I don't really mind frogging them and working with it again. So we'll see. You might see them again, or see that yarn again in another project. Probably another pair of socks, but a simpler pair of socks. So but that's all that I have for finished objects. So yeah. Okay, so let's move on to works in progress. So just like we did in FOs, we'll start with sewing works in progress. And this one, it does not look like a work in progress, but I promise you it is. This is the Tata Twist Take by Gracie Steele, and it looks almost done. There's just a few things that, like, I basically finished it when I realized that there was more stuff that needed to happen. So it, like I said, it looks done. And I'll probably work on a little bit more this coming weekend. So it's also made in the same material that I made my t-shirt dress out of. I just had just enough left to make this, which was really exciting. What was I gonna say? Oh, so I saw this pattern being tested and was like, that's really cute. Like, I think, and it's really cute, and it's such a good, like this is so neat, and the construction is really interesting, and so like all the seams, like you'll notice, like there's no, you don't see any seams, like they're all encased. It's double lined, it's all encased inside each other. This is still open because this is where I was turning it inside out, inside and right side out, whatever. But I did everything, and like I was kind of worried. This does not have as much stretch as the pattern calls for, so I was a little worried that it was going to be too small. So I cut a size I, which like according to my measurements meant that I would fit into, like, that was the size I was supposed to cut. So this does go up to a 57-inch bust. It might go bigger than that because I had to take out, again, I took my measurements, I cut the size I was supposed to cut, and it turned out way too big. And I talked to someone else who made it, and they had the same issue where it turned out way too big, and they had to cut off like basically like a full size. I probably need to go down like a size and a half, because I think I took 1.5 inches off each side, and I took 3 inches out of the straps, and I still might need to take another like 1/2 inch out of the straps. And this could be like the size issue. I don't know exactly how that ended up happening. I do think if you have a larger bust, I'm not, for the size I am, I'm not very busty. So I would imagine if you have like a larger bust, the length and the straps would help with that. But 3 inches is still a lot. It was a lot. So I don't know, it just, yeah. And so the straps are, and I get it, like everyone, I guess you'd rather have too much fabric in the straps than not enough. But I'm still have to go back and take out some more. And then I think I'm gonna put a little piece of elastic under here, so that it like just kind of helps support. I didn't sew. I saw some people like put like bra cups in this. That would have been a good idea, but I think that the elastic's gonna actually help me more. I think I'm gonna like it more. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make this again. Like I already have fabric planned out, because like look at the back is this cute little scoop, and so you can use the back piece as like the back and the front and just put it together that way. And yeah, and like then you have just a scoop neck instead of like the twisted top. So that's what I'm gonna do I have some white fabric, and I'm probably gonna try and make a shelf bra to go in it. We'll see how that goes. So I'm like, I enjoyed making this. I enjoyed making this more than I enjoyed making the t-shirt dress. I just need to figure out what size I actually am. So other than that, like I think the pattern's really cute. Again, it's very size inclusive. It's just the sizing was the biggest issue, but I will do more with that, and then hopefully we will see it again as a finished object next month. So that's it for my sewing whips. I do have a few yarn ones. So this is this is my weekend, well, it was a weekend slip over, and then I did, because last time you guys saw it was like a rectangle, I did hack it to be an open front. Wow, it's washes me out. Yeah, last time I think I showed it was like just this top of this back panel, and I decided I don't think I would, because of the weight of this fabric. It's not stiff, it's just like thick. I just didn't like the way I was picturing it in my head of like it being like a slip over. I just didn't like it. I didn't think I was gonna wear it as much, but having it to be more like accessible as like a vest I can take on and off, I think I'll wear a lot more. So I have like the sleeve caps, or like the sleeve bands, armbands done. They turned out really cute. I like this little detail at the bottom. I don't know if you can really see it that well, because again, the black fabric, where it like tapers at the bottom. And then I did some ribbing on the sides, just like, because I think when you join under the arms, like you cast on a few stitches, so I just ribbed those. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I thought that was a nice little detail to add. And then I just finished the ribbing on the bottom, and I just finished my sewn bind off on the bottom. So now all I have left is to do the neckband and button band. So yes, this is my weekend flip over hack as a vest. This is my entry into the Vest Friends make along that's hosted by Brooke Willow and Woolly Bean. Yes, I'll also link their information below. I think I mentioned a lot of podcasts in my first episode, and I didn't tag any of them. So I'll probably tag a lot more people, or like mention a lot more people below, because I love to, spread the love of other people's podcasts. Yeah, so I am probably, after I'm done recording this, gonna go block this, so that it's blocked before I do the button band. I also am waiting on a longer cord for my interchangeable set to get here before I can do the button band. So I think the longest I have is 36, and that was on the bottom, and it was a little too short. But because I'm gonna I decided with that green yarn that I showed you in the last episode, I'm gonna make a blanket with that, and so I needed a longer cord anyway, so I went ahead and ordered that so I can finish this. And I also had to order some more mohair, so let me show you my yarn. I'm making this out of, this is Murphy's worsted, or knitting worsted. This is that like vintage yarn that one of my mom's friends found, and then my mom gave to me. But it's pretty like scratchy, and I don't have the tag for the mohair, but it's pretty scratchy, so I got a mohair to go with it, which worked out because that's what the pattern calls for. But the mohair is Drops alpaca silk mohair, and so those worsted skeins, it basically takes 2 balls of mohair to equal one of those worsted skeins. So I had 4 of the Murphy's worsted, and I only ordered 5 balls of mohair, and I knew I was gonna run out. Well, I think I would have had enough to finish this, but I would have had a skein left. Well, no, I did need more ball to finish this, but I'll have a skein left over of the Murphy's worsted, and so I needed those 2 extra balls of mohair to go with that, because I'm probably, if I make anything out of that, which I probably will, I needed something to go with it, because again, it's really scratchy, so I wanted to have that mohair to go with it anyways, so it'll all get used up together. So yeah, that is my my weekend vest. Continuing on with the whips, this is another garment knitting whip, which I normally have like a garment and an accessory of some sort, but this is a summer knit, so it's pretty small. But this is the Costal Tank by Carissa Lamb. See, it's all over Twisted Rib. I am using Loop and Threads cream cotton. I bought this like a while ago without anything in mind, so I just bought like 2 skeins of it, and I tried making this last year, and I guess I just didn't know anything about gauge. So I just like started knitting it, and this is almost a worsted weight yarn. This might be closer to DK. Either way, this pattern calls for fingering, and it also calls for, I think it calls for 3mm needles, but I don't have 3mm needles, I have 3.5mm needles, so my gauge is very large, and I am yeah, I'm just winging it. I was watching High Fiber Knits, yeah, and she was talking about, because she made the Traveler's cardigan, and she was off gauge in a similar situation where it was like the yarn was too big, or she was using a thick and thin yarn, so like it didn't meet gauge, but she like basically figured out what percentage, like she measured her gauge It was like, what percentage of my gauge, what percentage of the actual gauge is my gauge. And so I was at I guess it's at 120% of what the gauge called for. I don't remember exactly what the gauge called for, what my gauge was, but I was at 120%. So I know I needed to make something that was like 20% less the size that I was supposed to cast on, because I cast on like my size the first time and it was so big. And so I frogged it, and then I think I was supposed to be like a size 5 or 6, and I'm making a size 3. But this, like, I mean, it's very stretchy, it's twisted rib, so it's gonna fit. Like, and I still have some increases to go. So I feel pretty good about it. And then I think when it comes to like making the straps, I'll just keep trying it on until like the straps are at a place I like. But yeah, it's been great. This was my traveling. I was traveling for work this weekend, and this was my traveling knit. So I think I only had like this much. So I made it through a lot. It's kind of taking a long time because twisted rib and really small needles, but I'm glad I'm starting it now instead of when the weather is like hotter, because I want to wear this when the weather's hotter, so I have enough time to work on this. So I'll probably be working on it for a while, honestly, just because twisted rib just takes a long time. But yeah, I think that's everything I had to say on that. This is, I'm making a size 3 off gauge. It does go up to a 62-inch bust. So yeah, that's my coastal tank. So I'm really excited about it because I really like summer knits. I think they're really fun. So that's it for knitting. I do have I have one other whip, but I need to go grab it real quick. Okay. So this there's also not much of this to show, but it is, well, I'll show the yarn first. This is another like one of my mom's, oh, the sun's coming out, so let's make it a little bit brighter. One of my mom's friends found some yarn, gave it to her, she gave it to me. It's great. It's a great system. I get free material. But this is Unger yarn in Frolic. And I say yarn, this is like it almost looks like an I-cord tubing or cord or whatever. It's basically a really, really tiny I-cord tube, and it's really like it's really cute. It's 100% cotton. These are little 50-gram balls. They're like, it's neat. I like it. I did try to knit with it and it did not work. So I have this blue color. I have very few of this blue color, so the least amount of these. Then I have some of this white color or creamy color, whatever. And then I have this tan color, which I, again, tried to knit with and it didn't work out. So that's why it's caked up. But I have a ton of this. So with that, again, the knitting didn't work out, but I decided to try and crochet, and I made these little, I have 2 of them. I made some little granny squares. So yeah. I love crocheting bags. So my goal is to make a crocheted granny square bag. This one's been, like, the ends have been woven in and I blocked it. I ironed it. This one has not, so I don't know if I just have different gauge or had different tension on both of these. Probably because I used the same hook. But they came out a little different sizes, so we'll see what happens when I iron this one. Hopefully it gets all sorted out, but I think I'm just gonna make like a tote bag with all this. I'm using a size 4.5 millimeter. I think I would prefer to 5 millimeter, but I can't find mine. So anyway, so that's my granny square bag. I don't have a pattern. I'm just kind of figuring it out. I think I'm just gonna need a lot of granny squares. So I'll probably work on this for a while, which is totally fine. Like, so right now they fit in here. They'll probably move bags at some point. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Again, like I've made a couple of crochet bags and I just like the fabric and the structure of a crocheted bag. It just feels like more durable, and like it doesn't stretch as much like a knitted bag does. Like knitted bags are really cute, but I don't think they're as practical. Crochet bags are cute and a little bit more practical. Yeah, and I might also make like a lining for this one, so it has like the crocheted outside and like a fabric lining, like a pocket or something. And I'm probably just gonna make like a tote bag silhouette. That might be what I do, because I love a good tote. So that's my crocheted granny square bag. So my next whip is one that I meant to show last week. I haven't actually done a whole ton on this, but this is also made in Loop and Threads cream cotton. I got this at a craft swap. I got 2 skeins of it, and I decided to make or start making a garland. So this is my winter garland. I saw somebody on Instagram making like a puff garland out of like some super bulky weight yarn, and it was really cute. And I just really like handmade Christmas decorations. So like my Christmas tree currently it's not up anymore. I did take it down like in February. But I typically decorate it with like the dehydrated oranges, and I think the only other garland I have is like the Trader Joe's felted garland, which I really like. It also kind of looks homemade. So yeah, I just really like that homemade like look about it. So I don't know how long I'm gonna go with this. You also probably won't see a lot of it, but I just kind of wanted to show you what I'm doing. These are just like, I basically like a chained 3 or chain 2, and then on the third one I like pull through until I have 7 loops on my hook, and then just pull through and make the puff. And I'm holding it double. I'm holding this yarn double. So I should have, if I do just like the whole skein straight, I'll have a ton of this stuff. But I'm probably not gonna do that. I'll probably stop at some sort of some unit of measurement or whatever. But yeah, I just kind of want to show that and talk about it, because it's something that makes me happy, and it's kind of like mindless crocheting. I'll do that while I watch TV and stuff. But yeah, so those are my whips for April, for March. Yes, for both. Okay, so I do have a few acquisitions. They're not what you think, but I like I said, took a trip this weekend, and I went to Chattanooga. I'm in Memphis. I went to Chattanooga for a work thing, and it's about a 5-hour drive from here, but my work paid for me to fly there, and then my husband met me down there, I guess it's still pretty south, and we just hung out in Chattanooga for the weekend, and it was great, and it's such a beautiful place. I might throw up like some pictures of the lookout. I think it was Sunset Rock. It was just beautiful. It was kind of misty and rainy and stuff, but it was still very, very beautiful. Anyways, so I flew there, we drove back together, and we stopped in Nashville at McKay's, which is like a big, I think it's only in Tennessee. They have a couple different stores though, but it's a resale kind of shop. Like you trade your stuff in, kind of like, like a consignment kind of thing, but it's all like physical media. So they have like books and DVDs and I guess like CDs and music. They had like instruments and stuff and some toys, but it's mostly like video game consoles and stuff, but mostly books. I think it's like their big thing is like, I think they're called McKay's Books, and they've like branched out, but that's like their big thing. So my husband wanted to find some like fantasy books, which he did, and I'm very happy. Like he found exactly what he wanted. I was just there for the ride. So but they had a crafting section, and in the crafting section they had patterns. So this is McCall's 5192. Also, it was 40 cents. It's in a size like 8-10, but I'm banking on the fact that big 4 patterns typically run very large because I'm not typically an 8-10 in any pattern. So, but I really wanted it because of this jumpsuit right here. Like, isn't that so adorable? They have like a romper situation too, but I think it's just this, I think it is just the blouse. I think it's just the jumpsuit and blouse. I don't think that there's, oh, you do, the pants pattern is also in here. So, so yeah, there's a couple different things, but it's so 90s. I know nothing about it. I haven't even seen if all the pieces are in here. I hope they are, because it doesn't look like it's been unfolded at all. So yeah, I'm really like, I just think that's so cute. I'm so excited. I might even make the shirt too, just because like they have the whole outfit. So also, again, 40 cents, like what a steal. I won't typically, because I've bought like on like digital patterns and stuff, I won't bore you with that, but I think vintage patterns are just really fun because they're all unique. I have a big collection of like physical, mostly vintage patterns, and I have used a few of them, and it's so cool. I love finding cool patterns, because like no one else is gonna have this. So yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So on the trip, there was the joke was, and I don't think I buy that many tote bags, but everywhere has tote bags now, and it's really cool. But the joke was like, I get 1 tote bag, so I was limited to 1. And I got it from a coffee shop. It's called Burlap Print and Press. So like print on, I'll get the tote bag and show you because it's so cute. So this is the 1 tote bag that I got. So it just says, have a nice day. It's also backwards. Or maybe it's not. I'm gonna try, and I realized because I do the self-facing camera that anything that has text on it is backwards, so I'll try and flip it. But yes, have a nice day. Thank you for shopping at Burlap. So just really cute. Again, big tote bag. So I was limited to 1 tote bag for the trip, but I found this book. And it's the Total Tote Bag book. I think this was printed in like 1970 something. So it's just all like fun, funky, like vintage sewing patterns. But they're like look at this one. It's like really cute. It's like tied up. So like some of them are really cute. Some of them are really funky. And I try to find a good like, because there's some of them that are like oddly specific, like the lesson tote, and it has like recorders and stuff in it, like flutes and everything. And so and then there's like sporty totes, and there are some, here we go, there are some color pictures in here too. But yeah, it's just like a funky little book. I don't know how much I'll make out of this book, but I've been collecting a little sewing library, so it's just fun. And so I'm really happy I found it. I also took the dust cover off to look at it, and this is so cute, but this is like what's embossed onto the cover. Again, just little tote bags. It's so adorable. So so yeah, that's one. I got a couple of their books, but that's one of the books that I got. The next one, actually I think this was the first one I found, but this is Knitting Today's Classics. 65 beautiful sweaters. But this was printed, I think this one was printed in 1997. But so classic. But there are, because which is funny because this is from 1997, which I feel like it wasn't that long ago. It's a long time ago. But everything in here is knit flat and seamed. So I guess this is considered vintage now. 1997 would be considered vintage, but this is the cardigan that really got me. Like I have a few marked already because I think they're really cool, but this is the cardigan that got me. With those like zigzag designs. And I don't know if there's a glare on this or not. Yeah. like, it's just so much fun. And there's like a lot of charts for just like different kinds of things, different kinds of lace work, and just a minute, like, look how 90s this is. Like, come on. It's so cool. So I'm just really excited about this. So there's a couple in here that I'm like, I think I'm gonna do. There's a couple summer tops too. But they're mostly all like they're mostly like worsted weight, big cables, cozy, like fisherman style kind of sweaters. I'm so excited about it. And then the last book I got, I think I heard about this on Love to Sew, but this is Dressmaking for Real Women. So it's like specifically designed for women's bodies, but I think like curvier bodies. And even though it's dressmaking, it's also has stuff about like tops and pants and just like the whole gamut of size adjustments and adjusting pattern stuff. I think this is the pattern examples are Berta patterns, so I think this is by Berta style. I'm pretty sure I heard about this on Love to Sew because it sounded familiar. But either way, it just seemed like a great starting place for making alterations to patterns, because there are a couple patterns that I'm gonna cut out soon that are more fitted and are going to be more tailoring and stuff, so I'm hoping this will be a really good asset. And I haven't really ventured into pants because I know I have to make a lot. I know there will be adjustments that I have to make, and I'm not looking forward to doing that, but I think having good resources make things a little more exciting, or just less scary, because I'm like, they're still gonna be hard, there's still gonna be a new skill that I have to develop, but less scary. So yeah, those are my acquisitions for this month. I'm really excited about it. I have them all set up in my little thrifted shelf that I got a few months ago, and it just looks really cute, my little sewing library. So yeah, so that's my that does it for acquisitions for today. Okay, well, that does it for this month's podcast. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my videos and what I have to show you and talk about. I think we're up to like 15 subscribers, which, like, you can ask my friends. When I put out my first episode, I think I had like 6 subscribers, and I was just floored that people not only watched the video but said that they wanted to watch more. So that was just really, it's just been really encouraging. So thank you so much for the love on the podcast, and just thank you. And I just hope that you come back for more, because I'm really excited to keep making this. So that's all for now. So I will see you next time.